Hello and welcome to the Modern Day Cottage. Today we're going to be sharing with you how to make a delicious blueberry cheesecake cake with jam filling. We're going to share our tips and tricks on how to make this delectable dessert. You're going to start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees. And you're also going to grease and flour two 8-inch cake pans, or you can use 9-inch cake pans. If you use 8-inch cake pans, they're going to be thicker and it's going to be a taller cake. We use 9-inch cake pans in this demonstration because our cake dome lid is not tall enough to accommodate the 8-inch cake pans. So we used our 9-inch cake pans for this recipe. It starts with a vanilla cake base. This recipe is tried and true recipe. We will put the directions how to make the sourdough version on the blog post as well at themoderndaycottage.com. So you can find this recipe at themoderndaycottage.com. So you're going to whisk up this sifted cake flour, your baking powder, and your salt, and then you're going to, in a stand mixer, you're going to mix in your butter and your sugar, and you're going to cream this until light and fluffy. And then you're going to add the oil, and then you're going to mix this until it's well incorporated. In between mixing, scrape down the mixing bowl and then stir it in just to get all of it well incorporated. And then you're going to add in the vanilla extract. Once this is well incorporated, you're going to gradually add in the flour mixture and the milk, alternating beginning and ending with the flour mixture. You don't want to over combine this because that starts making gluten strands form, and that makes a very tough, dense cake. And you don't want a very tough, dense cake. You want a very light, fluffy cake. The blog post will have pictures, step by step. If you do better with that, we will have that blog post in the description box below, as well as a free printable recipe card. So now we're going to beat up the egg whites. This is one of the biggest tips for a fluffy cake. And you can do this with any recipe that is requiring eggs. You can just add a couple more egg whites depending on the weight of the eggs that is called for in your recipe, and omit the yolk. The yolks have a lot more protein in them and they weigh down the cake, and they also turn the cake yellow. But mostly it's about the protein and about making it really fluffy. So we're just using egg whites. And then you're going to fold in those stiff peaked egg whites. We're using egg whites until stiff peak. So Ruby Ann, she mixed them up with a hand mixer until stiff peak, and then folded them into the cake batter. And then she's going to put it into the greased and floured cake pans also with a parchment cake pan liner as well. You will grease and flour that cake pan liner as well. And we're using cake bands. We soak these in warm water before placing them on the pans. This keeps your cakes evenly baked, and it also keeps them to evenly rise, and you won't have that dome cake in the middle. These are tips and tricks that we have learned from my great-grandmother, grandmother, aunt, and mother. You're going to use a kitchen scale to make sure that both cakes are evenly distributed, the batter is evenly distributed, and then you're going to lightly tap them on the counter. To release any air pockets that are in the batter. You don't want to over tap the pans when tapping out the air pockets, because you do want your cakes to be light and fluffy. You're going to bake them for 30 to 40 minutes until a toothpick inserted into the center of the cake comes out clean. While the cakes are baking, you can make the blueberry jam filling. We will put the instructions how to make the blueberry jam while the cakes are baking. If you can't buy pre-made jam, or if you prefer to make this cake with homemade jam, so we will put that as well on the blog post. To make the frosting, you're going to beat the butter with a hand mixer until creamy, and then you're going to add in powdered sugar, blueberry jam, vanilla extract, and you're going to beat it until smooth. And then you're going to add in the cream cheese, 1 square at a time until incorporated. Or if you're very adventurous like Ruby, she just did it all at one time. But I will say, if you do it 1 square at a time, it blends very smoothly, and you won't have any of those little white pieces in your blueberry cream cheese frosting. Alright, so the blueberry frosting, you're going to cover it and then put it in the refrigerator. But if it's stiff when you take it out and you can't spread it, let it come to room temperature and it will spread a little easier on your cakes. But we just go ahead and put it in the refrigerator for a little bit while the cakes are cooling. Ruby is cutting four strips of 18 inches long by 4 inches wide, and this is a tip when you're frosting a cake, so that way you can just remove them out from underneath the sides of it and your surface is clean. We're just showing you for demonstration purposes. And then you put a little piece onto your cardboard circle. You most certainly can just put it on a cake platter and ice it from there, but we're using the cardboard so that way we can transfer it to a cake platter. It's a lot easier than having a cake fall apart when you try to transfer it. We will put all the tools and items that we're using today here in the video in the description box below, as well as our Amazon Shop This Recipe on the blog. Please note we are affiliate of Amazon and Azuri, so any links below that you click on and make a purchase from, we may make a small commission at no cost to you. So we only share products and items we love and use here in our cottage kitchen. Once the cakes have cooled, you will put one layer on a serving plate, and then you're going to spread the blueberry jam filling over the top, and then place the second cake layer on the top of the filling. You're going to leave a little bit of space on the end so that way the blueberry filling doesn't bleed into the icing. But it's okay if it does, it just gives it a more of a rustic look anyways. And then frost the top and sides of the cake with a light layer. This is going to be called the crumb layer of the blueberry cream cheese frosting. You're going to refrigerate it for at least 30 minutes. And then you're going to take the cake out of the refrigerator and frost the rest of it with the remaining icing. And then refrigerate it again for at least 30 minutes before serving. So we have put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, and then we have taken it back out, and now Ruby Ann is going to finish frosting the cake. The longer the cake sits in the refrigerator, the darker the color becomes of the blueberry. You can most certainly change this flavoring to any kind of jam that you love and prefer a different taste. It would just become, let's say for example, you want to use cherry jam, cherry cheesecake cake. It will be delectable. You can use strawberry. We're using blueberry today. You can use raspberry. You can use peach. You can use apricot. I mean, it's just endless possibilities for different jams. I'm doing a spiral with this spatula and just turning it as I hold it and pull it towards the middle. Made a little spiral design into the cake frosting. This is one of the most amazing dessert. It tastes like a slice of heaven. It is so good. I hope you get to try this recipe. It gets better every day. Put it in the refrigerator after you make it and then serve it 30 minutes after it's set. Day 3 to me is my favorite day to eat this cake because the jam feeling has just really married into the vanilla cake layer. This is one of our favorite vanilla cake base recipes. It is so tender and so fluffy, and the flavors are, it's not overpowering with sweetness. It has such a great vanilla taste and texture. If you like this video today, please give us a thumbs up, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button to support our channel. And as always, we will bring you homemade recipes, cottage living, and a cozy home. We hope to see you in the next video.